For more on this, I'm joined by Doron Spielman, IDF spokesperson for Jerusalem. An absolute pleasure to have you on the show this evening, Doron. According to reports, Israel is preparing to conduct a major attack on Iran in the coming days. In light of this, the US has closed its embassy in Baghdad. When and why is Israel planning to carry out this operation?
Leigh-Ann, thank you very much for having me. This is certainly a very auspicious time. Iran is, I think the why should be obvious to everybody. Iran is the largest, not only sponsor of state terror in the entire world, they are a monster when it comes to any democracy or any freedom, including for their own people. And them having a nuclear bomb is like, giving a gun to a mass killer. And I think it's really in the interest of the entire world to make sure that Iran cannot develop or be able to fire nuclear weapons. And in fact, the JCPOA, the agreement that Iran had with the United States, the International Atomic Energy Commission, issued a statement today, which is the strongest statement that they've issued in over a decade, that essentially Iran's been doing what we know. They've been duping the international community, engaging in international negotiations while developing nuclear material. I mean, as the commission said, they sent the inspectors home, they hid their development underground. And just a few days ago, the heads of Iran said that they'll be close to having 12 nuclear devices. So the reason why is obvious. Israel, we've already been struck by Iran. Let's not forget that close to 1,000 ballistic missiles were fired from Iran unprovoked towards Israel, ballistic missiles, similar to the ones that were shot at Saudi Arabia at your Abakai refinery site. Thank God we intercepted them. But they pose a threat to Israel and the world, and they have to be stopped.
Doron, you didn't answer my question on when. Are these attacks going to happen? Because it's just reports at the moment.
Look, I don't know when, and if I did know when, of course, Leigh-Ann, I think you understand that I couldn't speak about that openly. However, what I will do is I will give you, to some degree, the window. Based on Iran's second attack against Israel, Israel did strike, as we know. We carried out 2 strikes in response, and on the second strike, we eliminated most of Iran's aerial defenses. So essentially, the monster called Iran, which is very close to your border, its aerial defenses are, relatively speaking, open. Now, that's not going to last forever. Iran has already ordered and imported material from China, according to foreign reports, which are going to be used to not only accelerate the nuclear program, but to rebuild all the missile defense systems that Israel took out. So as that window is open, if there's going to be a strike, it needs to be very, very soon. And I think, Leigh-Ann, if it doesn't happen, we're all going to look back, whether we're in Saudi Arabia, Israel, the United States, and look back at this window and say, how did we not stop this regime of terror when we had the chance? And if we're asking that question, Leigh-Ann, it means something terrible has happened, because Iran would just as easily use a nuclear device in the same way that they fired rockets from Yemen towards Saudi Arabian oil facilities.
Doron, if this attack is carried out, will it be in coordination with the US, as the Trump administration is in discussions with Iran about a diplomatic deal to curtail the country's nuclear program? We know that. So will the US be joining you in these strikes when they do happen?
The United States and Israel have, Leigh-Ann, probably the closest relationship maybe of any 2 countries in the entire world. We share common values. We both stand for freedom, and we've been coordinating this all along. Israel has said from the very beginning, we don't believe any agreement with Iran is worth even the paper that is written on, and that's what was confirmed today by the International Atomic Energy Agency, that they've been defying all of the orders. However, the President of the United States has said that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, and he is engaging in talks. Israel respects that, but we've also said when those talks run out, we will act. And if we have to act alone, we'll act alone. But of course, it is in the interest of the United States and the Western world as a whole that Israel should be successful. And therefore, we're going to take any help we can get. But Israel will do, Leigh-Ann, what Israel needs to do to keep our country safe. We've shown that. We have struck the Houthis numerous times in response to their massive assault on Israel. Almost every day I have to go into a shelter with my family because they're shooting a ballistic missile. It's happened, hundreds of ballistic missiles, and that is a farther away target than Iran. We've struck at them from the air. We struck them from Navy boats earlier this week, and we've shown that we'll do what needs to be done. And we hope that the entire world should see this as really a joint goal.
So this strike would be a dramatic break with the Trump administration, which has argued against such a move. Israel is already under pressure from Western allies regarding the situation in Gaza. Doron, in your point of view, can Israel really afford to lose America's trust at a time when some allies are breaking ranks?
I disagree with the premise, Leigh-Ann. The trust of the United States and Israel is based on decades and decades of partnership, and both of us understand very clearly, and the American people, and certainly President Trump, more than anyone understands, is that at times we try to use a carrot if we can. We try to bring people to the negotiation table. Neither of our countries are looking for war, but if you have a terror enemy similar to Hitler in the Nazi takeover of Europe, and they are actively assaulting you and shooting ballistic missiles, no country, including Saudi Arabia, where Arabiya is based, or any country, England, anywhere else in the world, would stand by and allow their population to be decimated. And therefore, I think the entire world and any thoughtful person around the world knows that you have to act to defend your people. And if Israel cannot act to prevent Iran, who've said that they're going to destroy Israel, from attacking it, then why do we exist? We might as well just fold in and raise the white flag and give in to terror. But that's not what we're going to do. That's not what the United States would do. I don't believe that that's what your country would do. And therefore, none of us are looking for war. But if there's no alternative but to protect your people, then going to war, well, then that's the ultimate reason to do it, I think.
Benjamin Netanyahu has faced a no-confidence vote this week. He's also appeared in court on corruption charges yet again. Is time running out for Benjamin Netanyahu?
I think that Benjamin Netanyahu, let's not forget that Israel is a democratic country, and we voted for Prime Minister Netanyahu, and he won in democratic elections. And there's been plenty of trials that have taken place over the years, and nothing has stuck to him. And what I can tell you is that even the head of the opposition, Yair Lapid, said today to the president of Argentina who was visiting, I agree with Benjamin Netanyahu that Israel cannot put aside its national defense, and we have to always act in our own best interest. Leigh-Ann, we are people that suffered the Holocaust. We know what it is to be left defenseless. And Israel, this beautiful country that we've returned to after thousands of years, speaking the same language, having a vibrant democracy for Arabs, Jews, Muslims, and Christians, we are only, Leigh-Ann, 1/5 of 1% of the entire Middle East. And we are the ones that are taking care of Iran. And whether it's Bibi Netanyahu or someone else in charge, the Israeli people are behind them because we know we can't outsource our security to anyone. And therefore, we will do what needs to be done to protect our people. We are calling on the world, stop Iran while you can. And if not, then we will have to act.
Doron, just before I let you go, today there are more reports of 5 deaths at an aid distribution center in Gaza. As you know, Israel will not allow foreign journalists to verify the details. They're not allowed into Gaza. Why are these aid sites becoming death traps for the people of Gaza?
Well, it's very simple. Unfortunately, Hamas, which has been diverting the aid, more than 60% of the aid that's been delivered to the Gaza Strip, Hamas has diverted, put into their own supermarkets and sold in the black market and made not millions of dollars, but billions of dollars. And therefore, when you have aid centers that are being secured by Gazans, provided aid by Israel and other countries around the world, well, this basically breaks the monopoly of Hamas on the Gaza Strip, and therefore they are making it dangerous by targeting Gazan civilians so that they will not go to those centers. And we don't need reporters on Gaza to see this. We have the Gazan people themselves that are videoing this with their own phones inside of Gaza. All you have to do is click on the internet, on anywhere, and you'll see the Gazan people. They're the ones that are providing the evidence. And I think, again, this is a time that the world needs to understand. Israel must destroy Hamas. It must destroy Hamas because they carried out October 7th. It must destroy Hamas because they want to do it again. And it must destroy Hamas because the Gazan people are trapped, not today. They have been trapped in a reign of terror since, unfortunately, they voted for Hamas in 2006, and they can't get out from underneath them. And so, therefore, in the same way that Iran is a state terror that must be destroyed, hopefully by other countries in the world as well, Hamas has to be destroyed by Israel, and no other country in the world would even face scrutiny in the face of such a noble mission to destroy a terror organization that is threatening it and the civilians around it. And
Doron
exactly
Spielman, IDF spokesperson, I'm so sorry you're there from Jerusalem. That's all we've got time for today, but an absolute pleasure to have you on the show and to have your insights. Once again, thank you so much.